China is going to be the ultimate long-tail producer and consumer. In the past 10, 20 years, it was the ultimate long-tail producer. Before I get into that, The Long Tail is a book by Chris Anderson. He's a technology writer in the US. And what it says is that with the internet, it opens up distribution for a lot of other products that wouldn't normally make its way onto shelves, so that you have a lot more variety and selection and ways to get that variety and selection to your customers than ever before. And my thought here is that China is going to be not just the ultimate producer, but consumer of the long tail. And how does that relate to travel? Well, when you think about what OTAs do, online travel agencies, we provide travel products. But when you provide all the travel products in China, you put it online on a platform, you open it up so that it's not just the Shanghai, Beijings that get a lot of business, but the people that want to go from Ulaanbaatar to Ningbo, those smaller tickets, you open up the long tail for that. And by putting it online, you get a lot more distribution than you would from just being an offline agency. Product markets will continue to fragment in China. That means that this tail will continue to grow. There's going to be more and more products coming into mainland China, and there's going to be more channels to sell them in. But distribution growth will eventually consolidate. So this is actually a good opportunity for those of you thinking about starting your own businesses. There's very few horizontal opportunities available today. That means that if you're a distributor of information like a Weibo, I would mark the chances of you beating Weibo as very low. If you want to be the Amazon of China and you want to compete against Alibaba, who just spent $4.2 billion on warehouses, the chances are along those horizontals are very low. But because the tail is growing and the demand is growing, there's a lot of chances right now in niche verticals. Like we chose travel. We don't sell everything, but we sell travel-related products, and those that can be location-based or associated with travel. And that's what we do really well. There's similar opportunities in healthcare, in finance, a lot of areas. And for a lot of you thinking about starting your own online businesses, I would highly suggest taking a look at the verticals, because those are places where a lot of money can still be made versus just the big horizontal opportunities. And the long tail consumption will continue. My parting advice is to always pay attention to the scoreboard, not just the rhetoric. The scoreboard are the metrics and the things that really matter to your business. So what I look at is I look at the number of hits, I look at the number of conversions, I look at the total number of sales. And those three things are very crucial to me. That's the heart and blood of my business. And secondly is to know when you're being educated versus being entertained. There's a lot of people in China now that are China experts, and even more outside of China that are amazingly also China experts. And they will tell you a lot of things based on data, but not necessarily based on being on the ground. And I think being on the ground and having a deep knowledge set in particular industries is very important. So you really have to know the difference when you're being entertained versus being educated. And the list I like to use is that when I meet someone new, maybe at a conference, there's a couple of things that I'll ask myself if this person is giving me a lot of advice about selling in China, marketing in China. The first thing is whether this person has created something, whether they've been a producer in China, because that is actually in itself a very big deal. You produce a product here. And the second thing is whether they've actually sold something here. Because whether they've done it successfully or not, you can learn a lot just from that basic on-the-ground experience. If you look around you now, we're in Pudong. Pudong 15 years ago, this was farmland. Now you have some of the biggest skyscrapers in the world. Historically, you look in the past, you look at recent history, there's one thing about China that you should remember, is that what at first seems impossible always manages to get done here. That's all I have to say today. Thank you. There's two sites that I use very frequently. LinkedIn. If you guys have a LinkedIn profile, you can link in with me. If there's anyone on my network that can help you with your business or help you get a job when you come out of here, just let me know and I'll make the introduction. And the second one is Quora. Quora is a US-based question and answer website. And I answer questions on China and marketing on that site as well. If you have any, you can always post there anytime.